everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Crazy Tech Reviews. And in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing, or restoring, the TI-90, in today's episode of Crazy Tech Reviews, we're going to be restoring this old Sharp adding machine. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Yeah, this thing's pretty dirty. The thing itself is covered in grit, and it's like all between the keys, and there's dirt and dust bites and everything. Not to mention the store put this horribly ugly price tag right up here at the top. And yeah, it's just pretty gross. The bright side though is the bottom is clean. I mean, literally the bright side, I guess you could say. But other than that, yeah, the machine itself is really dirty, and it's probably also going to need retrobreading as well. Hey, at least it works though. I powered it on a few times and it works just fine. It works just like any other adding machine I've ever used. I do like the way the screen looks though. It's really cool. I believe this thing is from the 1980s or 90s because it does not have a battery pack on it. It could be even older. Also, the thing used to print out tape, as you can see, but I don't have any for it. So with that, I went ahead and started to unscrew the two screws at the back. I believe this was how you got in the machine. So I went ahead and grabbed my screwdriver and I took them out. Now the reason this clip skipped though is because my camera fell down halfway through filming this. But yeah, I just continued to unscrew the two screws with that break there, I guess, when the camera fell. And eventually I discovered that not only did they screw this machine together, but I thought there would just be two clips in the front that I could easily just lift it up and pull the front case out. But it turns out there are clips all along the side of this case, which was just a pain in the butt. And eventually I got the last clip undone and the case just came apart. It was almost like removing an iPhone screen because you kind of had to fold it upwards and pull it out because there was a ribbon cable at the bottom for the keyboard. However, I did eventually get the front case off of the bottom section of the case, which was definitely nice, which meant that I could further remove the front case from the machine. And this is kind of the inside of the machine right here. Okay, so here are the insides of the calculator. As you can see, here's the printer mechanism, which is pretty cool. It's a daisy wheel, I think. Down here, we have the screen, which is oddly connected to the motherboard via these really, really long leads. Speaking of the motherboard, there's the motherboard, and then we have the power transformer. This, though, is the keyboard, which we're going to go ahead and take off. It uses Phillips head screws, and thankfully they're different than the ones that held the case on, because I really don't need to get screws mixed up in this thing. So yeah, go ahead and do that. And with all the screws out and a little bit of work, the metal part that covers up the keyboard mechanism just came right out, which shows the membrane of this thing. Now that is a very flimsy piece of plastic, and so I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out right now. And then you have the rubber domes, which also came out pretty easily. And as you can see, this thing is just disgusting. I mean, look at all the buildup. Then finally, I pulled out the little switch thing here, which is pretty weird. It actually uses the membrane as a switch. And there you have it. That's the empty front case of this adding machine. Now you saw how nasty this thing was before I started cleaning it. So I decided the best way to clean this thing, other than using Windex or something, would just be to rinse it off in the sink. As you can see here, I just kind of rubbed it around and rinsed off all the gunk. And then I decided I would tap it with a paper towel to dry it off because that seemed to work the best. And sure enough, it looks pretty good afterwards. Down in this thing and some soap. And oh my gosh, is that a difference right here. I'm just going to go ahead and grab one of the other membranes for comparison. It's harder to see all the crap on this one, but you can see there's a lot of crap on it. You look at this. It's amazingly cleaner, or amazingly much cleaner. Camera's out of focus. But yeah, it's pretty clean. I mean, you guys saw how it looked before, and it's so much better now. Eventually, I decided it was time to pull out the rubbing alcohol and give this thing a good cleaning. Now, there was so much grit in this thing, as you saw earlier, that it was just unbelievable. The first thing I decided to do was try to get rid of that price tag that had been written on it. This, however, was pretty challenging. As you can see, some of it's coming off with rubbing alcohol, but not the thing, or the entire thing. So eventually I decided to grab something that was good for removing those marks, which is Goo Gone. I think you might have seen me remove one of these in the previous episode when I restored a mini TV, but it almost works instantly. It immediately took off the crayon residue from the crayon pin sort of thing they used to mark the price on it. After that, I just finished up by grabbing some rubbing alcohol and wiping it down with rubbing alcohol. Then I got to work on the key pad area of the machine, or the top panel. Eventually, though, I just decided it would be a better idea just to take out the keys anyway, especially if I was going to retrowrite this thing, I would already have to take those out, so I just decided to push all the keys out. And then after I got the clips undone for the keys, I went back with the screwdriver and just pushed the key stocks down, which eventually popped out the keys. And it worked pretty well, and I was able to get almost all the keys out using this method in specific. And here it is, after taking out all the keys. Since the inside of the keypad was already messy enough, I decided I would just bring it outside and spray it down with the hose. This actually worked pretty well, as it almost removed all the gunk in that area, as most of it was just loose debris. As you can see, it already looks a lot better after spraying it down. And so, with the top of the case done, it was time to start working on the bottom. Now, the bottom, I first had to remove all the stuff from, so this is just some clips of me taking out the motherboard itself and the printer assembly. As you can see, the reason I'm going to take this out is, even though I'm not going to retrowrite it, it is horribly filthy with dirt, so I'm going to go ahead and just spray it down. And yeah, here's me removing the printer. Alright, so here it is. This is the case without anything in it. As you can see, there's a ton of crap, so we're going to go spray this piece out as well. Alright, so with that said, I started spraying down the inside of the case. Now, this pretty much instantly removed all the crap that you saw earlier inside this thing. As you can see, I'm trying to get down in there and get all the nooks and crannies, but there's all kinds of crap, from dust bunnies to probably even food, as I think I wiped some tomato sauce off the edge of the case. And it looks pretty nice now. As you can see, it's drying right now, but it looks pretty good. And with the machine itself cleaned, I went ahead and started cleaning all the scuffs and stuff from the outside, now that all the dust bunnies were out of the inside. For this, I just used a bunch of rubbing alcohol and baking soda combined, and it works like a charm. Everything almost pretty much came off instantly, and so yeah, it worked pretty well. And now, it's time to do probably the most exciting part of this episode for me, and that is going to be retrowriting this plastic. Now, I use a different method from most people, and that is that instead of using 50% or 40% hydrogen peroxide or whatever, I use just bleach like you would use for laundry cleaning. Now, let me know if that's not good for this stuff, but I've done it on one other machine's keyboard, and it worked pretty fine, actually. And hopefully it will work on this, otherwise I guess it'll just stay yellowed. However, just to be safe, I am going to put some tape over these labels and ink so that they don't either deteriorate or come off. But anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and get right into this. Alright, so as you can see here, I have the two case pieces. This one I'm not going to bother retrowriting because it is the original color, and it didn't yellow at all. However, this guy, on the other hand, I'm definitely retrowriting. I mean, you can see right there is the original color, and it's even more of a dramatic difference in real life. This is a tape, or this is like some ink markings on here. I just decided I would cover that up so that it doesn't take off the ink possibly. Worst case scenario, it would just take off this because I can't really cover off these without leaving spots of still yellowed plastic because I want to be exposed to the bleach. But anyway, with that said, I've got a tub and I'm just going to go ahead and fill that up with water and retrobrite this thing. And so I went ahead and started filling the bucket here with water. This took a while, but eventually I got it filled up. But after the bleach was in, I aimlessly started trying to get this thing submerged due to all the air bubbles that were forming. Yeah, I just took this out of the bleach, and it's looking pretty good actually. As you can see, it's not really as good as I want it to be because I just ran out of time because it's kind of starting to get dark now. But it's definitely changed colors to be a more light tan than the dark orangish color than it was before, or the dark tan color that was before. As you can see, some of the marks from where I'm guessing something was sitting here are still there. Okay, so it's been a while since I've worked on this video, but as you can see, this is about all the recording I have of me reassembling the case, so I'm not sure what happened to the rest of the video of me reassembling the calculator, but it has gone missing. So with that said, I guess I'll go ahead and show you the calculator afterward. Okay, so first of all, I would like to, or before we get to what the calculator looks like now, I would first like to apologize for the lack of uploads on this channel. I'm sorry. It's just I've been busy recently, school starting, all of that stuff. You get the drill. Anyway, yeah, I've been really busy, so this channel kind of probably had the worst effect with that. I'm not giving up on the channel, guys. I'm sorry, I just haven't uploaded recently, but we have passed 25 subscribers, which is awesome, and it's great that you guys support the channel in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, there's going to be videos coming out soon. I have a few in the works right now, as well as one on the Macintoshes. But with that said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and let's get into what the calculator looks like now, once it's completely reassembled. Also, it's been about a month since I filmed the original video for this, so that's kind of why the parts of the video were missing, but let's get into this. Alright, so with that said, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. It might not have been the most interesting video I posted on this channel, but I'll have more coming. As I said, I have a Macintosh video on the original Macintoshes over here, like this Plus here, for example, that I've owned. I'm sure you guys have seen this machine a few times before. But this is going to be all about like these old machines right here and many others like them. So that's going to be coming out soon. I mean, I've been working on it, so yeah, that's basically some of the other things I have planned. But with that said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this and sticking with the channel, even though I haven't uploaded in like a month. Actually, it was just a month 2 days ago. But anyway, with that said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching anyway, and I'll see you all next time.